morning. Today is the big day. Today you get to whack into your fabric to make that cushion cover. And I always like to think of this as prep work, but this is where the most important thing has to happen, and it needs to be precise. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out the cover for the pillow that we marked out the other day. And you have washed your fabric, and now we're going to cut the pieces out, and then you're going to serge everything. So the very first thing you need to think about is you want to do the big pieces first because they take the most fabric. So we have 3 cushion covers, 3 back cushions, and 2 pillows. So basically what I'm going to do, and it's all stripe, but yours is not going to be stripe. Mine's all stripe. And so one of the things that I do is I start out with the big pieces. And the way this works for me on this piece of fabric is that the back cushion goes along with the pillows up one side of the fabric, and the bottom cushions go on the other half of the fabric. And it's a measure thing. So these are narrower, the bottom cushions are wider. And so they just pop right up. So I think you can see these. We've marked these out the other day. And I'm simply going to take my little plastic ruler that's 24 inches long, and I am going to go on this stripe. There's one side. Now remember, we're going to cut a zipper band down the side, and so I want to be pretty precise with my cuts. I'm not going to go past the line on the side. Just remember, I'm left-handed. I always start on the right side though. And I don't know why. I think I may be ambidextrous. Anyway, so we have the first piece cut out. I always work from the right side. Oopsie. That one didn't cut. Huh. Alright, let's cut this one again. Sometimes you need to use a new sharp blade. There we go. This one is not helping me. So I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut this. Then I'm going to mark it for the right side. And I know I have it. There it is. So I mark all mine pretty much in the same spot. I either mark them in the center, like this, or I mark them in the bottom right-hand corner. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simply turn this over and working down the fabric. This one I'm not going to mark out. I'm just going to even up the sides, smooth it out, match up all the stripes, and cut it again. So once you get all the big pieces cut out, then you're going to cut out the band across, all the way across, except for the side over here that we're going to use for our zipper band. So when you decide how wide your boxing is going to be and you add your seam allowances, then what I want you to do is measure down the side of your fabric. Measure it out this way, and I normally mark it just so that I know where I can cut to. And then once you get that all cut out, then we're going to do our bias for our welt cord. Had a little senior moment there. So basically what I do is once I get it all cut out, I always have some kind of a little weird mark here. And this is for stripes. I cut it on the diagonal. And basically, I either use the grid marks and the diagonals on my table, on my mat, or I use my ruler to make sure that everything is straight. So once I get everything straight, so it's straight all the way along the edge of the fabric. And honestly, you know that piece that we tested? This is usually what I use for welt cord. Then I simply cut this with my scissors. You know, and instead of doing this, I think maybe I'll use the green that I'm going to use for my cushion so that you can actually see me do it. Here are my zipper bands ready to go too, just so that you can see this. And basically, when I figure for my zipper bands, so here's my cushion. I'm going to figure one piece of boxing here, and then my zipper band here. And basically the way I figure it is how wide the fabric is for the top. So here's a piece that matches. And then I'm going to come down the side. Now this is a pillow, and so I just want my zipper across the bottom. If I was doing this in a cushion, it would be as far down the side as I can take it, about halfway, simply because it facilitates putting the cushion in. So you've got here and here if this was a seat cushion, and then zipper band as far down on the sides as you need to take it. And so I'm going to just kind of do some measuring there and make sure I've got enough. So I cut one band for the front, and I cut 2 bands for the zipper band. And just note that basically you're going to cut the zipper band the exact same size as your front band, and you're just going to fold it over and press it. And then to make your zipper, all you're going to do is top stitch the zipper, well, the band to the zipper, top stitch it in the center of the zipper. Leave yourself a little bit of extra here. But you can see I've got massive amounts of band here because I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch of cushions. And I normally, because I can see these from the back of the chair, because this is wrought iron furniture, I've made them match. And the really crazy thing about doing zipper bands like this is once you cut it off, you can actually unzip it and zip it back up so that you can adjust the stripes, which is a really cool thing. You don't have to be quite so specific when you sew. Okay. Now let's go to the green for my linen cushion cover, so you can see me make welt. So I decide which side is right side up, and this is it. I can tell just because I know this fabric, and I have made a mark back in the little corner in the corner. And I'm going to cut it at a diagonal. The reality though is that anything off of true grain across will give you the stretch you need for your welt cord. So you can very easily cut it here. You don't have to do it at a total 45. When I'm doing this, I normally figure 3 cuts for each top or bottom cushion. So I'm doing 3 back cushions, 3 seat cushions, and 2 pillows. So I would figure for the seats, I would figure 6 for each cushion, and I would figure probably 2 for the front and 2 for the back of the back cushions. So you've got 4 times 3, which is 12 for the back cushions. These are cuts, remember. And for the seat cushions, you've got 6 cuts per cushion, plus 3, which is 9. So now you've got roughly 20, plus I would add a couple for the pillows. So we're going to make somewhere around 25 cuts. And it depends on if you're using the full length of the fabric or if you're going to do a little guy like this is. So here is, I fold right sides together. And again, remember I'm left-handed, so you want to do the exact opposite. And even though this isn't exactly perfectly straight, I have learned that you can fudge it. Now, if you really have to, you can cut a bit of it off. And the most important thing you do at this point is to make sure that this edge right here, the folded edge, is straight with the side. And so I'm just going to cut this. And that's trash. And then I'm going to cut this at 1 3/4. And I'm simply going to leave them folded so that I know that the inside is the right side of the fabric. And so now I've done a couple. Now I'm going to pull my fabric down so it's even again. And this is where it becomes important to have made sure that you're straight perpendicular with this fold, because then when you fold it again, the fold stays even this way and your fabric stays even on the edge. So I would just keep cutting these. And at this point it's ad nauseum. Today I'm going to only cut 4, just so that you can see me go to the machine and put these together. Oops. Okay, so we've got 4 of these. Now then, I'm going to take them over to the sewing machine. I'll meet you over there, and I will show you how I make welt cording.